The stars trembled above Vareth Prime. High in the obsidian spire of the Temple of Sight, the oracle shuddered as visions tore through her mind. Rivers of flame across planets, empires collapsing, and a single being standing in the ruin of 1,000 worlds. He was not one of her kind. He was human. The oracle's long silver tendrils coiled around the crystal basin, and her second set of eyelids fluttered shut. The vision burned itself into her mind. A human face half lit by fire, a hand stretched toward her own as the stars blinked out one by one. Her whisper echoed through the temple's vast halls. The end of all futures begins with him. 1. The prophecy of Vareth Prime. The Varethians were a telepathic species who had ruled the galaxy for 5 millennia. Their oracles didn't guess the future. They saw it, carved into the very fabric of space-time. When the Oracle of Sight saw doom, the Council listened. Always. That evening, the Galactic Council gathered beneath the dome of stars. The Oracle was carried into the chamber on a platform of light, her eyes glowing with a faint shimmer of foresight. The timeline fractures, she said. Every possible future ends in destruction. Civilizations burn. Worlds collapse into void. Counselor Alarix, a skeletal being of mirrored bone, leaned forward. And the cause? The Oracle raised one trembling hand. A human. A low murmur rippled through the chamber. Humans were a primitive species, barely spacefaring, known for their wars and unpredictable emotions. They were considered insignificant, a curiosity at best. The Oracle continued, her voice quivering. He stands at the nexus of all timelines. Destroy him, and we may yet preserve what remains. Do you have a name? Another asked. She closed her eyes, whispering, Elias Wren. 2. The human prisoner. They found him on a derelict mining colony at the edge of the Andorran Belt. Elias Wren had been a systems engineer before the Federation collapsed. When the Varethian fleet descended from orbit, he didn't resist. They bound his wrists in shimmering restraints and dragged him aboard the flagship. He remembered little of the journey, only flashes of sterile corridors, the hum of alien engines, and a constant pressure behind his eyes, as though someone were rifling through his thoughts. When he awoke, he was in a chamber of glass and light, and she stood before him. The Oracle, her presence filled the room like gravity. Her skin shimmered like liquid mercury, her eyes vast and depthless. So, Elias muttered, you're the one who thinks I'm going to destroy the universe. Her voice echoed both his ears and in his mind. I have seen it, countless times. Elias smirked despite the fear tightening his gut. Maybe your vision's broken. She tilted her head. You joke at the end of all things? Humans joke at everything, he said. It's how we survive. The Oracle stepped closer, studying him as though trying to understand a paradox. You are different. I cannot read you. Good, he said. I'd rather keep some mystery. Her eyes narrowed. Tomorrow, you will stand before the council. They will decide your fate. Let me guess, he said. Execution? The Oracle's expression didn't change. If the visions hold true, yes. 3. The council's verdict. The chamber of judgment was vast, ringed with alien delegates from 100 worlds. Elias stood in the center, flanked by 2 guards with plasma spears. Counselor Alarix addressed the assembly. This human, Elias Wren, has been identified as the nexus of the coming destruction. The Oracle's vision leaves no doubt. The only logical action is elimination. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the hall. Elias laughed bitterly. You don't even know how I caused it, do you? You just saw me standing there and decided on the problem. Silence, snapped a guard. The Oracle stood at the edge of the dais, watching. Something in Elias's words stirred unease in her. Visions were never wrong. Yet, for the first time in centuries, she doubted. As the council prepared to pass judgment, Elias looked straight at her. You said you saw all possible futures, right? Yes. Then show me. A silence fell. None had ever made such a request. It is not permitted, said the counselor. Elias stepped forward. Then maybe you're afraid I'll see something you miss. The Oracle hesitated. In that moment, she made a choice that would change everything. For the vision, later, in the sanctum beneath the temple, the Oracle placed her hands on either side of Elias's head. The chamber darkened until only the crystal basin between them glowed. Your mind may not withstand what you see, she warned. Elias nodded. Do it. The world dissolved. He was falling through stars, through time itself, watching planets age and die in seconds, suns collapsing into black holes, civilizations reduced to ash. And there he was in all of them, sometimes standing in the ruins, sometimes holding a strange device that pulsed with light, sometimes reaching out toward the Oracle herself as everything burned away. He gasped, "That's me?" "Yes," she said softly. "You stand at the end of all things." "But why? What am I doing?" Her eyes flickered. "You trigger the cataclysm, a chain reaction that devours the quantum fabric of the galaxy." Elias stared into the collapsing universe. "But what if I'm trying to stop it?" The Oracle froze. "What did you say?" He turned toward her, his voice trembling. "You assumed I caused it. But what if I was fighting it?" The vision trembled, distorting. For the first time in her existence, the Oracle saw a fracture, a new possibility, a future that had never existed before. 5. The truth beneath the prophecy. The vision changed. They saw the Varethian Council. Centuries later, desperate to control time itself. In their arrogance, they built the Chronos engine, a machine capable of bending probability and rewriting causality. But the engine demanded a living catalyst, a being whose neural structure could bridge organic consciousness and quantum computation. A human mind. Elias watched in horror as the council experimented on captured humans, their bodies dissolving into light. The machine spiraled out of control, collapsing timelines into each other. The cataclysm wasn't born from him. It was born through him. He was their victim. He was the last catalyst, the one whose mind, when connected to the Chronos engine, would unravel time itself. The Oracle fell to her knees. "We did this." Elias clenched his fists. "So your council caused the end of everything, and blamed me for it." The Oracle looked up, her voice breaking. "The vision was never a warning of you. It was a warning of us." 6. Escape from the spire. When the vision faded, alarms blared throughout the temple. "They know," the Oracle said. "The council has seen the fracture. They will not let us change it." Elias looked at her. "Then we run." They fled to the spire's lower halls, pursued by guards. Plasma bolts scorched the walls, searing the air. The Oracle raised her hand, bending light itself to create a shimmering barrier. "Left," she said, guiding him through tunnels older than the Empire itself. At the base of the spire, they reached a hangar filled with ships. The Oracle chose one, an ancient courier vessel. As the engines roared to life, the temple above them trembled. Counselor Alaric's voice echoed through the comms. "Oracle of Sight, you defied destiny itself. The timelines cannot be changed." The Oracle's eyes glowed white. "Then let them burn." The ship broke atmosphere and vanished into the void. 7. The edge of time. Days passed. Elias and the Oracle hid among asteroid fields, moving between abandoned stations. The galaxy hunted them relentlessly. Each night, she saw fragments of new futures flickering in her dreams, possible, uncertain, alive. Elias worked on the data they'd stolen from the temple, schematics of the Chronos engine. "If we destroy it before the council completes it," he said, "we stop the cataclysm." "But the engine lies in the heart of Verith Prime," she warned, "protected by a billion minds." Elias smiled faintly. "Then we'll just have to outthink a billion minds." For the first time in her long existence, the Oracle felt something she'd never known. Hope. 8. The fall of Verith Prime. They returned under the cover of a dying sun. The Oracle used her powers to blind the planetary sensors, cloaking their descent. They landed near the core citadel where the Chronos engine hummed beneath the planet's surface. The corridors pulsed with living light, energy crackling through crystal conduits. When they reached the heart of the chamber, Elias stopped. The machine towered before them, vast and alive, threads of temporal energy weaving around it like a web of lightning. "It's beautiful," he whispered. "It's death," said the Oracle. She placed her hand on his shoulder. "Once we overload it, there will be no return." He nodded. "Then let's make it count." They worked quickly, rerouting energy channels, setting overload codes. But before they could finish, a voice echoed from above. Counselor Alaric descended with a host of guards. "You cannot change fate, Oracle. The timeline demands its price." The Oracle faced him. "Fate is not a chain. It's a choice." Alaric sneered. "Then choose death." He fired. The blast hit the Oracle square in the chest. She collapsed, light spilling from the wound. Elias caught her, trembling. "Stay with me?" She smiled weakly. "You were the variable I never foresaw, the human heart." With her remaining strength, she reached into his mind, merging her consciousness with his. Energy flared between them, connecting human and Varethian thought in perfect synchrony. Together, they became the final key. The Chronos engine screamed as timelines shattered and reformed. 9. The new future. Light swallowed everything. Elias awoke beneath a blue sky. No spires, no alien cities, just a quiet field on Earth, sunlight on his face. Birds called in the distance. He sat up, gasping. The memories of 1,000 timelines flickered through him, collapsing into one. A voice echoed in his mind, soft, familiar. "You changed it." He looked around. "Oracle, I am here within you. The future is unwritten now." He closed his eyes, tears streaking his face. "What happens next?" "Whatever you choose." He stood, gazing up at the sky. The stars above seemed brighter than he remembered, no longer trembling with doom, but alive with possibility. And somewhere in the fabric of space and time, the universe began to heal. 10 Epilogue. Centuries later, scholars of the new Galactic Federation would speak of a nameless oracle who defied fate and a human who changed everything. No one knew where he went. Some said he walked among the stars, others that he became part of the very timelines he saved. But on quiet nights, when the stars align just right, the oracles of the future say they can still hear a whisper carried through time. The future belongs to those brave enough to change it,